All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving deep, going way beyond the basketball court and the concert stage to really break down the wealth-building playbook of two absolute cultural titans, Shaquille O'Neal and Jay-Z. We're going to see how they turned their incredible success into, billion-dollar brands. So you know the legend, right? But do you know his portfolio? Because this isn't just basketball money, not even close. A huge piece of Shaq's wealth is tied up in franchises. But look at this, he's also deep into startups and real estate. I mean, this is what financial dominance looks like when you're off the court. And then you've got the icon. But do you have any idea what his real estate empire is worth? Jay-Z, together with Beyoncé, has built up a property portfolio that's valued at over $50 million. And we're not just talking about fancy houses here. These are serious hard assets that are a cornerstone of his billion-dollar fortune. Okay, so they've both created this just massive amount of wealth. And what's so fascinating is that it's like they're running plays from the same book. It's a playbook that, honestly, we can all learn a thing or two from. So let's dive right in. The first play, and maybe the most important one, has nothing to do with money itself. It's all about mindset. It's this huge shift from just being a consumer to becoming an owner. And believe me, it's a lesson both of these guys had to learn the hard way. Early in his career, even a giant like Shaq made some huge mistakes. He's been super open about it, how he blew through his first big million-dollar paycheck almost instantly. But that mistake, that was the wake-up call. He figured out real fast that just earning money wasn't the game. He had to figure out how to make it grow. And Jay-Z, he basically put that same painful lesson into his music. He talks about this missed real estate deal in Brooklyn that, if he'd had that ownership mindset back then, could have made him a $23 million profit. Wow. That kind of regret, well, it's a powerful teacher. So what this all boils down to is a really simple but totally crucial idea. You have to know the difference between assets and liabilities. Jay-Z famously put it this way: buying art, which can go up in value, versus dropping cash on cars with V12 engines that lose value the second you drive them off the lot. It's all about putting your money to work for you, not the other way around. Okay, so once they got that mindset right, they started building. And one of the biggest cornerstones of their empires, you guessed it, real estate. Let's take a look at how they absolutely mastered this game. Just look at this portfolio. It's wild. Jay-Z and Beyoncé own properties that are as strategic as they are beautiful. You've got an $88 million mansion in Bel Air, a historic church in New Orleans, and each one of these isn't just a place to live, it's a piece of the empire, a serious appreciating asset. Now, Shaq's strategy is a little different, but it's just as powerful. It's all about massive diversification into franchises. Take a look at this number, 155. That's how many Five Guys restaurants he owns. See, he's investing in proven systems that just pump out cash flow. He's an owner, not just a celebrity face for a brand. And oh, it does not stop there. He also owns 150 car washes. It's brilliant, really. It just goes to show you. Find a simple, repeatable business model that works, and then just scale it up, up, up. Okay, so here's where we get into the advanced playbook. When you're dealing with assets this big, there's a pro move that lets you grow your portfolio way faster by legally hitting pause on one of your biggest expenses, taxes. It's called a 1031 exchange. It's this really powerful tool in the US tax code. And here's the magic. It lets real estate moguls sell a property and then roll all the profits into a new one without having to immediately pay capital gains tax. But, and this is a big but, it is not a free-for-all. The IRS has some very, very strict rules. You've got just 45 days to identify a new property and only 180 days to close the whole deal. If you mess up that timeline, even by a day, the whole tax benefit just vanishes. So why bother with all these hoops? Well, when you pull it off correctly, a 1031 exchange can save you thousands, sometimes even millions in taxes. And all that saved cash, it's freed up to reinvest and compound your wealth even faster. All right, so building wealth isn't just about these huge headline-grabbing deals. It's also about the clever, everyday financial tactics that really give you an edge. Jay-Z laid this out perfectly. He said, you know what's more important than throwing away money in the strip club? Credit. And man, the data really tells the story here. This chart shows a pretty significant gap in average credit scores, which is a massive factor in who gets to build wealth and who doesn't. And why does that matter so much? Because a lower credit score costs you real money.
It's literally like playing the game on hard mode. You pay higher interest on everything. Car loans, mortgages, you name it. It makes it so much harder to just get ahead and build any kind of financial foundation.
Shaq, on the other hand, had this absolutely brilliant strategy from day one. He basically turned his family into a business, Shaq Inc. He put his parents on the payroll as official employees. So yeah, it was a super smart tax write-off, but it was also way more than that. It was about structuring his family like an organization, keeping wealth inside the unit, and teaching financial discipline from the very top. Okay, so this brings us to the final piece of the playbook. For both of these moguls, the end game isn't just about piling up wealth for themselves. It's about legacy. It's about what that wealth can do for others and for all the generations that come after. And honestly, nothing captures that idea better than this simple, powerful question from Jay-Z's daughter, which he actually used to open his song Legacy. It really gets to the heart of why they're doing all this work. I mean, Jay-Z has literally said that his album 444 is basically his will set to music. He's laying out the whole financial blueprint, making a clear plan to pass his stake in companies like Roc Nation and all his other assets directly to his children, making sure they start their lives from a position of incredible strength. And that idea of legacy also extends out into the community. Shaq has poured millions back into his hometown of Newark, New Jersey. His latest project is a 33-story high-rise that's literally changing the city's skyline. And the best part? A big chunk of those new apartments are specifically designated as affordable housing. That is a direct investment in the city that raised him. So when you look at the whole playbook, you see it's a journey, right? It starts with that mindset shift, moves to mastering assets, making smart money moves, and then finally, building a legacy. It shows that creating true, lasting wealth is a series of very strategic, very deliberate plays. So the only question left is, what's your legacy play going to be?